Hey, this is MassX with a brand new One Punch Man, the strongest video, and we're gonna talk about a bit Mr. PPP. And why is that? Well, in the background, of course, I've got this week's EBZ match finals with Lilig, and by the way, the Lilig account came back with a vengeance this week and absolutely decimated everybody it played to get to the finals. So glad to see that. But PPP is just an annoying character, okay? You guys, if you've been listening or watching my videos at all, you know I do not like variables. I do not like chance. And this character is basically built on chance. I think I've put in 250 games with this character, testing out different formations, being on the front, being on the back, being with DSK, not being with DSK, using a whole host of other characters with it, be it Mel's, be it Phoenix Man. And yes, you can get the numbers up to increase its percentages, PPP, but in the end, I just hate variables. So I was really happy to see that the Lilig account actually was going the route of the conservative build, and that's what it really is. When you are working with PPP, you got a few different ways you can approach it. You can approach it going super aggressive, like I did, which you don't see in this video because I had to adjust because I knew how to play against the version of team the Lilig account was playing. But through all my other matches, I actually had PPP with DSK, so you're getting those constant stuns, as many as possible, especially if your opponent's not playing Mel's. You can take full advantage of that and just decimate their side of the field. But if they're playing with Mel's and based on their power level, you do have to adjust. And of course, that's what I did with playing against the Lilig account, was I took PPP off of DSK because I'm not going to be able to get as many stuns. So I had to go back and go to the tried and true, of course, standard format that we've been doing now forever, which is getting incredibly boring, with DSK and Glory Boss instead, and just putting PPP on the back line to hit once. But basically, that's what I had to do to know that I would have no issues with this match, or hopefully no issues with this match. But yeah, the conservative route is to go with what the Lilig account did. And you've got a few different ways you can do that. You do it as you can see right there. The other way is, if you're going to use PPP, is you can take Tank Top out and you can put DSK in. But the point of using TTM instead is because what you're trying to do is you're trying to limit the hits on your side of the field and the decimation. So basically, for instance, you don't want, Glory Boss getting stunned, so you want to do it with Mel's. You don't worry about TTM if it's going to get stunned. You don't worry about, those backline characters such as Drive Knight, etc. if you put them back there, because they're not going to do much damage, nor are they really going to hurt your team much. So that's going the very conservative route. And if you're set up properly, or your opponent doesn't know how to counter it properly, you're just going to slowly decimate them. And that's what the Lilig account did very effectively. Now, the more aggressive approach, like I stated, was what you see I have on the field, but instead you would have PPP matched up with DSK to try to maximize your amount of stuns. Now, you would not want to do that, though, if your opponent has Mel's, because that basically alleviates half of the team from being able to be stunned, so it's not nearly as effective. So I don't recommend it, at least in my testing. If they're running Mel's, then you go back to a more standardized formation. So for me, it would be like right now I'm running Mel's on the front line, PPP on the back line. I'm running DSK and Glory Boss together, and Drive Knight on that front line with Zombie Man on the back line for speed. And again, you can adjust that either way you want. When you are playing with Mel's, you just want to protect. You don't want your main DPS being able to attack you. So it's always usually going to be teamed up with Glory Boss at a minimum, because that one can do significant damage if they were able to go ahead and get that to counter against you. And then on the top of that, of course, if they can take it off the field. So front lining that character with Mel's helps that out a lot. But yeah, it was nice to see. But yeah, I'll be honest with you guys, I just don't really care for chance characters that are built completely on luck, and PPP just really is. I mean, Phoenix Man is, but it's you got 1 out of 3 chance on that front line, and it does more by bringing back your characters. It's not its primary means, where with PPP, all you care about with it is its charm. You want the stuns, you want to take the character off the field, and yeah, there's just so many variables when you place it against a team, and especially in a format where it's on auto, it takes even more of any sort of standardization or knowing you're going to be effective out the window, because you're not playing the game. So it's a fun character to play, don't get me wrong. I'm going to keep him in and have a good time with the character, but in the end, yeah, it's just not my cup of tea. This character, it's not one that, at least with my theories, I build my teams basically with the idea that the best offense is defense. So where most people are focusing so much on attack, I focus almost just as much on HP and defense. I literally don't worry about any sort of attack on any character that is not going to be my primary DPS. So for instance, I will usually have 2 characters that will be primary DPS. That's it. Everybody else, I'm more concerned about what can they do for me to save my field. So it's always going to be focusing, of course, HP, because at least that's scalable, and even defense, because it does help, and you end up not having to put too much to get your defense up. But it doesn't scale in this game, so it really is nominal compared to HP. But that's what I always do. I want, my theory is always, and I've said this before, if I can out-survive you when you can throw everything but the kitchen sink against me, and I don't do anything but just stand there, then that's a team I'm happy with. So I'll all the time do testing with gear that does not have any effects or anything special, just to see if what they can hold on their own with just stats. Effects are great, don't get me wrong, they're wonderful, but if your team can survive with shitty equipment and not that great of other gearing, etc., then it's anything you add is just a huge bonus. And so that's how I always build my teams, in the hopes of that if all else fails, they're good without any sort of bells and whistles. So, but yeah, this match now should end pretty quickly. But again, congrats to the Lilig account. I was happy to see somebody go the absolute defensive route with PPP and see it work effectively. And that account played, all the accounts it needed to prove itself. So that was impressive to see. So hats off, because the week before it looked like another mess. So I'm glad they got it cleaned up and got on the right track with that account. But kudos to you. With that, as always, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. Have a great day.